Dancing bear. Went to the hostel there.
One of my favorite anecdotes in American history is Hudson and how his crew mutinied and just kicked him off and left him on fucking Hudson Bay. They're like, with the sun, they're like, peace out. Because they were fucking, they had no food. They're like, we don't want to do this shit.
Well, that's a good reason to mutiny.
Yeah.
Alright. So tell me this. What metric, guys, hey, everybody. What metrics units do you guys know?
Liters.
Say again?
Liters.
Liters. That's one of the few that we actually use. You go to the store to buy a blank of Coke, a 2 liter of whatever. Me, it would be Pepsi. Sorry. So we got liters. And that measures what? Volume. It's crazy.
Oh, liquid.
What other? Meters. I like it. And yeah, that's a prefix, so that means 1,000 something. So meters is length. So what we're missing is
Weight, mass.
mass. And that, of course, would be what? Grams. I love it.
So
Right? And we reserve that for drugs here. Right, for some reason, the only time we use metric is when we're talking about drugs or something, right?
5 liters of like PCP.
There you go. Drugs again. It's either soda or drugs.
30 meters.
That summarizes the U.S. So these three things, the reason the metric system is so nice is because it's built on 10. It matches our number system. So a lot of us already knew, like somebody already said, kilo. So I can have kilo, liters, kilo, meters, kilograms. Probably pronounced a little differently, but I don't care. So kilo something would mean we know what that is. What's kilo? I just said 1,000. I love it. 1,000 whatevers, right? So it could be kilograms, kg, it could be kilometers, km, kiloliters, so forth. I like it. Now, normally people don't know these next two, and don't blame me because we don't use them.
Milli?
Yeah, milli is going to be down there. So this is kilo, that's 1,000. There's one for 100, and there's one for 10. Every step is a step.
Centi?
Centi is going to be way down there, right? Because centi would be 100th.
Oh.
So here's meter. This is 1.
Okay.
Stay with me. That's 1 meter. So this is going to be 10 meters. Let's just use meters. Might as well. And if I put a little g, it would be grams and so forth. So I just want to stick with something. So there's something here, and there's something here. And then there's meters. And then this is kind of nifty. This is 1/10. And any number that has 7 point something, that we call that a what kind of number? What is that point?
Decimal?
Yeah, so this is decimeter. Decimeter. Decimate means to cut your opponent down by 1/10, right? Or leave a 10th. I can't remember if it's cut them down by 1/10 or leave a 10th. I don't know. And then you got your centimeters, because centi is like hundreds. I like it. So 1/100th is centimeters. And then finally you got the freaking millimeters, like millipede supposedly has 1,000 legs. So 1,000th.
Like a centipede.
Centipede and a millipede.
Is there a decipede?
Probably. And then there's just a pede, just one big foot just hopping around. I like it. Freak. You see that? Just run. All right, so here's the beautiful thing about this. Two really nice things. How do we measure volume in our customary units? Ounces and freaking pints and tablespoons and gallons and quarts and holy crap. And they each have different amounts in each. Are you guys with me? That sucks so bad. How do we measure distance? We use inches and feet and miles, so forth. Do you guys realize, this is a little bit of an urban legend, but it sort of has been proven a little bit, that our system is based on measurements of the King of England? So, yeah, supposedly every time there's a new king, the king came from God, therefore everything about the king was holy, so they would say, your foot now is our foot, and then they had to redo all their measurements. So, they don't even freaking use this system anymore that we use. Why did we continue? Didn't we have the Tea Party and all that shit? Not the current Tea Party, I mean the actual Tea Party.
How do they measure the volume of the tea? They use liters or they use...
I dumped it and saw what happened. I don't know, to be honest. All right, so let's fill these in here. This is hectometer. All right, not hectometer, but hectometer. And then this one, unfortunately, it looks a little bit like that one, but it's called deca. And the way I keep it straight is, it's the bigger one, so damn, it's big, right? So that's how you keep it. Deci is the smaller one. Decameter is damn. Damn, it's big. Right? How many meters is it? It's 10 meters. You guys kind of with me? Again, I know it's silly, I don't care. So no. So most of these you guys knew. There are some that normally people don't know. Some of you guys might know hectare. Maybe not. Okay, that's like a measure of size of a lot. Yeah. Huh?
You got the taco shop?
Yeah, it could be. Is he a big guy? Maybe. Yeah. So here's the nice thing about conversions within the metric system. Converting in our system is pathetic. It's disgusting. How many yards in a mile? Okay, that's what I thought. Converting in the metric system is almost too easy to believe. Yeah, yards. You know? Okay. Watch this, you ready? If I had 147 decimeters, and I want to convert that to hectometers, every step is a step of what factor? Because this is based on our system. It's a step of 10.
Just move the decimal.
In the same direction I go. So if I need to go to hectometer, I go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's 0.147 hectometer.
Why don't we use this?
Because we're stupid.
Yeah.
Well, because the people that would vote it into action never will, because they're so used to inches and feet and so forth. They're like, why would I use metric? And plus, the U.S. always has the right answer for everything. Apparently, some people do. But the rest of the world uses this, just about, basically. And
scientists use it in America.
they have to, exactly, because well, who do they talk to? Other scientists. And there was a Mars Polar Orbiter, I think, something like that. One of the Mars mission ships. I think it's actually in this book this time.
Oh, were they?
Mars Climate Orbiter. One group were talking in metric like they're supposed to. Science uses metric because we want to communicate with the world. And then our guys in, I think it was in San Jose, the JPL, they were using feet and stuff. So they sent this thing up and like, everything's looking, bam, and it just crashed into Mars because it was calculating the wrong distance. You guys kind of understand what I'm saying? So that's just really dumb. So that's why scientists want to use metric always, so that they know what everybody's talking about, right? I know. Yeah, dude, it was billions. Does it say in here how much it was? It was JPL team. It was the JPL team, Jet Propulsion Lab. If you haven't gone there, you should
That
go.
really happened though?
Yes, it really did happen. It totally did. It sounds like an episode of South Park, I know.
Convert it, right?
What's that?
They literally just didn't.
They literally just thought, this team said 5, and they thought it was 5 feet. It was actually 5 meters. It was basically like that.
That's crazy.
I know, man. All right.
No.
Okay. So here.
It's a rookie.
You guys, let me see if you guys kind of get what I just said. Take, if I had 0.49 decameters, can you convert that into centimeters? Don't say anything out loud. Somebody like, I won't, because I don't know. But try it out. Well, how many steps do you take? Yeah. So from decameters to centimeters, how many steps do you take? 1, 2, 3. So then how many times do you move the decimal? Which direction? The same number of times, the same direction. 1, 2, 3. There you go. I like it. So what about this? What about 7,847 centigrams is how many kilograms?
Is that a Dumb and Dumber illusion? I like it. I like it.
Oh yeah, it is. I say that a lot. I like it. I like it a lot.
This kilometer, the kilo is above that, though. It's bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. one reason we would not switch is because we weren't brought up in metric. Can somebody show me in the air how big an inch is? How big is an inch? Does anybody know this here? This is about this big? So the inch. So you know inherently. Can you show me how big a foot is? Roughly. Just take a guess, and then if I actually measured it, we would actually be pretty close. Well, some of us. If I average us, we get really close. I like it. But if I said, can you show me in the air how big a decimeter is? It's 1/10 of a meter. Does anybody know how long a meter is? Do I have a meter sticking here? No? I should have brought it. So a meter is longer than I can reach, right? So that's 1/10 of that, right? So 1/10 of that would be roughly like that. I don't even know because I wasn't brought up in
I
metric.
thought a meter was like 3 to 4 feet, somewhere in there.
A meter is just a little less than a yard. So yeah, it's about
Less than a yard.
it's about 3. Yeah, I think a meter.
So then it's a
we
lot
remember.
less than you.
0.9 is it the other way around? 0.9 meters is 1. I can't remember exactly. But it's roughly the same amount as a yard almost, so like 3 feet. Because if you look at a ruler, have you ever looked at the ruler, the inches on one side, there's obviously 12 of them. If you ever looked at the centimeters, if you had a ruler that had centimeters on it also, there's like 30 and a half. So you can actually work out the conversion between the two using those numbers, right? So, anybody got this? What's this?
0.078.
Yeah, because you have to move from centi, you got to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to add a 0 on to guess. I like it. Yes, ma'am.
How is kilograms centi? How is that? How did you know that it was centi?
Because it says centi. So the question said this many centigrams is how many kilograms. So in the question I know it's centigrams. So again, I know I have an M there, but I could have an L there or a G there. That's the other beautiful thing about metric is we have freaking gallons, and then we have feet, and then we have, well, you know, so pounds, which is insane. These guys use the same prefixes for everything. So I inherently know how to adjust. Once I know length, I basically know volume, and I basically know mass, because it's the same kind of conversions. Okay, maybe. So I don't care. You focus on the prefix, right? You don't care too much about this. That's just the thing it's measuring. It's not how the conversions work. So, if you'll notice, on a test, it'd be really nice if you knew how to write. If you can write this, you can do any metric question I ask you, right? You just have to count. So here's a mnemonic device if you want to use it. And I kind of like the irony in it. King Henry died Monday. Yeah, you got it. Drinking chocolate milk. I love it. Which is not historically accurate, but I don't care. And of course, if you got leaders, you can say King Henry died laughing, or King Henry died giggling, or King Henry died Monday. Right, if you want to. It's a mnemonic device, and some of you guys realize if you know how to write this down, you can attack any metric conversion I ask you. So that's why it's good to have a mnemonic device for that. Normally nobody knows it, so it's cool that you know it. I like it. Like every good boy does fine. Everybody know that is? Music stuff, right? That's about all I know about music, besides what I like. I do not play anything. Triangle, that's me. Okay. So the next kind of step from this, anybody watch like ER, stuff like that? Is ER still going? Good Lord, man. ER was on when I was in college. That's crazy. Scrubs? Yeah, Scrubs. Even in Scrubs, I think they sometimes said this. They say the nurse, I need 500 cc's of saline. Right? You've heard that cc's before, right? What the hell does that mean? What the hell's a cc? Did they bring 500 people named cc? Yes.
Cent or something?
Yeah. Okay, sure. Exactly. Saline can be used in a lot of different ways, and a lot of different body parts. Where are we at? Oh, we're sort of snuck into 8.2 right now. This is the last thing we're going to talk about today, by the way. So here's something interesting. You guys know that when I say cubic foot, what am I measuring? I'm measuring the what of something.
Areas.
Nope.
Length. Width.
Nope. Cubic. Cubic. So it's got to have 3 dimensions, so that's volume. It's got to be like a cube. That kind of gives it away. Square, so area is in square units. Volume's in cubic units. But don't. So this is a volume. This is a metric volume. But doesn't metric already have a volume measurement? What do they measure volume in directly? Liters. I like it. So there's got to be a connection between cubic millimeters, cubic centimeters, and so forth. There's got to be a connection between that and liters. So here's what it is. If I had a little cube that was a centimeter on the side. All right, you guys with me? The volume of that cube is what? 1
cubic centimeter.
And do you see where the cubic comes from? Because it's centimeter times centimeter times centimeter? Centimeter cubed, so cubic centimeters. So the volume here would be 1 cubic centimeter, which is equal to 1 milliliter. So that's the connection between, if I cube something, that is a volume. So there must be a connection to liters, because liters measures volume. Just like there's a connection between cubic feet and gallons, but as you can imagine, that connection is not as nice. It's disgusting. I like it. Now here's the part that's going to be a little tricky. So 1 cubic decimeter. Is decimeter bigger or smaller than centimeter?
Bigger.
Bigger. By what factor?
1.
One would be is the same.
1 place.
1 place, which is every place is 10. I like it. So 10 centimeters make a decimeter. Stay with me now. So I want to figure out, I know this is true. How do I know it? Because Jeff said so, and plus it's just the way it is. So I want to figure out what has to go here. So watch this. If I had a decimeter, I'm not going to draw it to scale because that would be huge. So I'll just kind of give it a rough idea. If I had a cubic decimeter, how many cubic centimeters would that be? Well, 1 decimeter is how many centimeters? 1 decimeter is how many centimeters? 10. I love it. I really want that to make sense. It's bigger. Decimeters are bigger. So every decimeter has 10 of the smaller dudes in it. Does that make sense? Now be careful. That is, your brain goes where it wants to. So everywhere I got a decimeter, I can replace it with 10 centimeters. It's the same damn thing. It's like replacing 1 foot with 12 inches. Right? It's the same thing. So what's the volume? It's 1 cubic decimeter, but what is it also? What is it in centimeters? In cubic centimeters? 10, 10, 10. 1,000. I like it. I see 1 and I see 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1,000. And since 1 cubic centimeter, now this is we can't even imagine this conversion. What does this conversion mean? Well, how many milliliters is 3 cubic centimeters? Freaking 3. It's a direct, exact. So 1,000 cubic centimeters is how many milliliters? 1,000. Now somebody help me out. That's a really silly way to say that, because 1,000 milliliters is what? 1 what?
1
Milliliter, centiliter, deciliter, liter. So 1,000 of these is 1 of those. So a better way to say this then is 1 liter. So 1 cubic centimeter is 1 milliliter. 1 cubic decimeter goes up by 1,000. It's a liter. So then, seeing the pattern, what would 1 cubic meter be equal to? You could do it.
1 milliliter.
Beautiful. 1 kiloliter. Because every step up by 1 here is actually 3 steps up there. Because there's 3 freaking sides. I like it. So one last thing on that. This is on page 447, a really nice little table they have, instead of spread it all out like I did. Help me out here. How many feet in a yard?
3.
I like it. So how many square feet in a square yard? I know I'm saying yard. How many square feet in a square yard? 9. I love it. So when you're converting squared units, the numbers in the conversion get squared. It's crazy. So when you're converting cubic units, 1 cubic yard would be how many cubic feet? 3 cubed is? 27. I like that. So that's exactly what we just kind of applied. So it works for any conversion, anywhere. If I know what 1 is to 1, I know what squared is to squared. You square the number I would have used. So in a square foot, how many square inches are there?
Wait, say that again.
In 1 square foot, how many square inches are there?
20.
1 foot is how many inches? 12. 1 square foot is how many square inches? 144. You square the number you would have used. That's awesome if you let it be. Some of you guys are looking at me like, what the hell's going on?
Feels like chemistry all over.
Yeah, we're not going to go all the way down moles and Avogadro and all that kind of stuff.
Is there a sequence with this that's special in nature?
Look at you. That's funny. All right. So that's enough for now. So that means, you know, if you have classes tomorrow, oh well, but you're one step closer to spring break, and so am I. Thank the gods. I need this break.
Apparently there's poetry.
So 5'7".
Based on pi, you can actually have, you know I have base 7, base 8? I think I said it before. You should look up base
5'7"
pi.
and 5'8" should be done before we get back.
Base pi, base e, negative bases, complex bases.
I only like in relation to literature. I don't want to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I like the logic of it. Proving, substantiating formulas.
I got it. I won't push it.
I took the test history in it, trying to figure out what the sequence was, and I realized it was the keyboard.
Yes. Good. So you got it.
Yeah, I had the alphabet laid out.
Hopefully you finished everything
You know,
out.
I spent longer on that phone instruction than on everything else, because everything else was pretty straightforward.
All right, so you're probably like me. You're like, I need to know what this is.
Yeah, and I had the alphabet like laid out, and I had numbers. I'm like, okay.
Oh shit! It's never that. I never do that. Everybody goes there first, and I.